Today I am in Lakewood, Colorado at the Gnarly ToyBox. I first visited this shop several years back and really remember loving it, so I had to visit it a second time since I'm vacationing in the area. I remember really loving the overall aesthetic of this particular store and a lot of the product that they carried, because this place has a real heavy focus on some of those amazing, oddball, gross-out, monster-like toys of the 1980s. So I'm really hoping that we're gonna see a whole bunch of that again today. And here we are! Right as soon as we walk into the door, I am immediately drawn to this amazing glass case that is filled with Bogglins.
Over here, I'm a Bogglin. Me and my buddies need a place to hide out. Come a little closer. Oh, did I scare you? Oh, I do that so well. If you take us home, we'll kiss your Aunt Martha. We'll eat your peas. And we hope you know lots of girls. Hey, the name's Bogglins. Each sold separately, and we're looking for good homes. Maybe yours?
Bogglins are such a great retro line of toys, and we've seen a resurgence with them, and I run into the newer ones quite a bit at different toy stores, but Gnarly ToyBox here has an amazing selection of vintage and some really rare Bogglins pieces. We've even got some of the little mini figures there and lots of those Bogglins still in their boxes, which you just don't run into very often. And if Bogglins isn't your thing, or even if it is, what about Madballs or some of those other weird balls toys? Because there's a whole bunch of those here too. Good selection of Mighty Max figures in here, and I think I even spy a Rocks and Bugs and Things rock monster toy in the back there. And there's a really good selection of carded 5.5 figures in here. A lot of those great knockoff toy lines. That combo looks great. That's something that's really standing out to me. I love those colors, love that design. But what I really love in this particular case here are all of those carded Skull Force figures. Those are so weird, so awesome. You never run into those things, especially carded like this. They are pricey, but oh man, they are so incredibly tempting. Speaking of, I love this giant-sized custom Remco-style snake dude that's in that 5.5 styling. He's decoed out with like the colors and even the logo of the Gnarly ToyBox. That is a really cool piece. Whoa, these Critters plush are amazing. I don't know if these are like officially licensed items. They probably aren't, but I love them. I love the colors on some of those brightly colored ones. Really unique stuff. And how about Sectaurs? Those definitely fit in with that like oddball type mold of some of these other toys, right? There's a really good selection of those in here too. I love the Sectaurs toy line. Hey, I even spy a Sectaurs knockoff figure all the way to the left there. Pretty cool. Seriously, if you are into like those monster toys and plush or the weird oddball gross out type toys, Gnarly ToyBox has got a great selection of that type of stuff here, and this is the kind of thing you don't see as often at some of the other shops, so that is definitely a highlight here. But they still have a great collection of other, more common toys mixed in here as well, such as Masters of the Universe. Come on, I've got to check that section at every store I go to. And there's a pretty good assortment in here as well. Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, lots of figures in here. Oh man, I love that I suddenly keep seeing the monogram model kit version of the Talon Fighter now that I have one finally. You gotta love it. That's how it always works, right? Oh, so this is interesting. For $325, you can get this massive custom wooden case for Masters of the Universe figures, and it is filled with 24 vintage toys. Part of me is tempted to buy this because I know that it could be some pretty fun content to like buy this blind and then open it with you guys to see what's inside. But I also don't really want to spend $300 on 24 figures that I most certainly have in duplicate at this point. So, sorry guys, it's not happening today. Oh, but they do also have a vintage Eternia on display in the shop. Seriously, this thing is so impressive every time you get it set up. And this one is near complete. I mean, I'm looking it over. I'm seeing lots of pieces that I need, like some of those flags up at the top. That bridge ramp coming off the side is a piece that I need. You know, I think it's about time for me to do an update video on what I've been able to accumulate for my vintage Eternia so far. So we'll be coming back to that soon. But still, I love seeing this in the store. Also, I do love the giant sign that says to be careful because it's fragile. That is no joke. Don't even look at those monorail tracks funny. They'll just crumble to pieces just by looking at them. So for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's a good selection of figures from both the vintage toy line as well as a bunch of the modern stuff in here as well. So a few pieces scattered around if there's anything that you're looking for. But what really caught my eye for Ninja Turtles is some of the weird merchandise stuff here. Take, for example, the TMNT Turbo Racer? What? This thing is incredible. I have never, ever seen this thing before. And if that's not cool enough, how about you get yourself a fresh pair of TMNT ice skates? Man, some of the weird merchandise that some of these toy lines got has become some of the most fun for me to hunt down now. I don't necessarily want to like buy and collect all this stuff, but like knowing that it exists and kind of documenting it with stuff like these toy hunt videos, I just love that. I love seeing the weird things that they just slapped the logo and characters on for these different toy lines that we love. You know, I think I've said this before, but it's only a matter of time before I start picking up these Wildcats figures. I see them everywhere, so they're so accessible and affordable. Maybe by me saying this, the prices will go up, and then I'll have my excuse not to even buy them. Yeah, do that. All right, let's scope out the G.I. Joe case. Oh, and there's Incinerator. Look, I keep looking at this guy. Almost every time I find him, he really stands out to me. So clearly, my taste is leaning me towards this particular figure. It's only a matter of time before I buy this figure too. I feel like, boy, I'm building up this like checklist in my head. Like, I need to come up with the Pixel Dan's It's Only a Matter of Time list and just start writing down all the things I've said that about and see how many of them I eventually end up buying. You guys should do that for me. Leave it in the comments. Anytime I start saying it's only a matter of time until, and we'll have like a list. Maybe that'll be my next toy hunting goal. Anyway, before I got totally sidetracked, I do love this figure, though I do want to wait until I get one that's a little bit more complete. I think I would like to have some of his accessories at least. But there are a lot of really cool G.I. Joe pieces in here, and oh boy, that hot pink is calling to me. You know what that means? Ninja Force, baby! Now that's the G.I. Joe I'm talking about. Right next to those G.I. Joes, I spy the Toy Biz Batman Batcave playset.
Now you can bring the action home.
Batman, haha, you missed. Yeah, but I only missed once. You can't escape Joker. Just watch if you can. You won't be alone for long.
And in the Batcave,
no criminal can hide from Batman. Batman, gotta run to jail.
each item sold separately from Toy Biz.
I love this playset. I do already have it, but it is one of my favorites, so it's cool seeing it here set up. Gives me a chance to talk about it a little bit. Also, this is a great chance to get it like with some figures. And I've got to point out how much I love that Bob the Goon is like sitting there manning the computer in the Batcave playset here at the Gnarly ToyBox. That's amazing. I think I want to set mine up like that now. Bob the Goon needs more love. Things I really like about this store is that you spend all this time getting lost in the glass cases, just looking at all of the cool vintage toys scattered throughout. And the next thing you know, you're in the back of the store face to face with arcade machines. And then you turn around and you see this amazing wall filled with VHS tapes. I really like it when a lot of these vintage stores are more than just toys, but also all of these other nostalgic things that we all love to hunt down. I mean, let's face it, it's not always just about toys with most of us. There's always these other things that tug at our heartstrings. So running into some of this stuff in these stores is really fun and exciting to see. Things like these vintage board games here. Really fun stuff. And oh man, these How to Win at Nintendo, these Nintendo cheat books, I love these things. These things really take me back, and sometimes it's all about that amazingly cheesy artwork on the covers. These things are really cool. This room at the back of the store also has a pretty great mixture of just lots of random toys. There are carded toys just covering the walls all around the room here, and there are even more cases filled with so many different types of loose figures just all piled in there. So you really do that thing where you're just staring in the case, like browsing everything in there, and it's actually kind of fun. It's exciting. For example, is there anything on this particular shelf right here that stands out to you? To me, I see that Remco Conan Thoth-Amon figure. That is awesome. And all the way over there at the end, I see a Galoob Golden Girl outfit. I love the Golden Girl toy line. Gnarly ToyBox is an incredibly fun store. One thing that I just really love about it is what we talked about at the beginning. They just got this amazing selection of some of those more specialty vintage items that you don't run into at a lot of places. Some of those things like the Bogglins or the different various monster plush have become so rare these days that you see one here and one there, but very rarely do you see a large assortment of them like you do here in this shop. So walking in and seeing some of this stuff is just so exciting and just so unlike most places that you visit. But there's also a great selection of other stuff in here as well. And with so many different cases that are just completely stuffed with vintage toys, you really never know what you can find. Just kind of study everything and look around, take your time, because there is a lot of cool things to witness. If you're ever in Lakewood, Colorado, I would highly recommend checking out the Gnarly ToyBox. Go check them out on social media too. They do these amazing live streams. I've been following them for a couple years, just watching them do these live stream sales from the toy store. It's a really cool format. Definitely worth checking out. So what did I purchase from the Gnarly ToyBox? Well, I didn't have a huge haul on this particular trip, but what I did buy, I'm pretty excited about. You see, I couldn't resist that hot pink glowing from the G.I. Joe case, and I added a new Ninja Force figure to my collection. It's Bonsai, the Rising Sun Ninja, whose real name is Robert J. Trevelino from New York. That cracks me up for some reason. But man, seriously, this figure's got a file card, he's got some bright pink weapons, and he's got an amazing blonde rooted ponytail. Come on, you know he's one of the best G.I. Joe figures ever. There you go, my friends. That is my toy hunt from the Gnarly ToyBox. Thank you all for joining me for another episode. This is part 3 of my Colorado toy hunting excursion. We've got one more episode from the Colorado trip coming up next week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already so that you get alerted to when my new toy hunting episodes go up, which, by the way, is every Saturday. Except when I throw up bonus episodes like I did this week. Did you guys see the episode where I completed my Metal Mutants Michelangelo? You definitely need to head on over and check that out. You also need to give a very special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon, like I'm doing right now. But for real, thank all of you guys for watching this video. You're all amazing. Everybody who continues to watch and comment and like and subscribe. I couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. Happy hunting, my friends. And until next time.